Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to study about the what is the use of MySQL, creating a database and creating a table in that database. Okay. So what is MySQL? Actually, we have a lot of data. Okay. So if you are going to use machine learning or artificial intelligence or anything, you will have data. Okay. Now this data you can store in tabulated form. Okay, in column and rows. Now let's say you are having different tables. If you are having different tables, let's say this is table 1, this is table 2, and these tables are interconnected. Let's say I'm having this one, student names and their marks, subject, and their gender. Okay, here I'm having their mobile number, date of birth, email ID. Okay, now let's say I want to get some data from table 1 and some data from table 2. Okay, I've created different table for the storing the data of the same students, just because I don't want to show their mobile number, date of birth, email ID, which are like personal things, and I don't want to show it everywhere. Let's say I want to give some data for uh, any study or anything, so I will give this data. And like if somewhere I want private data, let's say mobile number or date of birth, email ID, I can fetch or I can merge these data from table 2 to table 1. Okay, so we can edit, like we can change any data, we can delete the row, we can delete the column, we can add column, we can add row. Okay, so in MySQL we can do multiple things, and everything would be in tabulated form. Okay, so let's start. In this video we are going to make database. Database is a broad term. In this database we can add multiple tables, okay, which will be holding our data in row and columns. So I'm writing my all SQL codes in Jupyter notebook. Okay, so we have to connect. In previous video we studied how to install MySQL. So in this Jupyter notebook I have to connect Jupyter notebook with MySQL. So first I will install MySQL connector Python. Okay, so this command will work. I am just running this command. It is telling me requirement already satisfied, because I had installed this thing before, like when I was writing my notes, and just for checking purpose I did it. So it will install your connector. Okay, this connector will connect MySQL with Python. Now see, we have to import mysql.connector because we have installed it, but now we are importing here. And okay, and this thing I will discuss later. First we'll import this thing. Okay, so I have imported mysql.connector. Now I am also importing getPass. Okay, since I'm recording this screen and I don't want to show my password to everyone, so this getPass will help me. Okay, how would it help me? See, I'm running the next thing. So I'm writing password, this is my variable name. Okay, getPass, and this thing. Okay, it will take user input. Okay, so whatever user input I will give, it will be stored in the keyword password. Okay, see, I'm running this. Now it is asking me for user input. I have to write my correct password here. Okay, I have written it. Now this password, whatever I have written here, this password is stored in password. Okay, this variable. Now let's move further. Now I have to connect with my local host. Okay, so this is my variable name. I'm using try and accept here. We had already discussed about this thing in my Python videos. So mydb, this is conventional, so I'm using the same thing. You can use any other variable if you want. What am I writing? MySQL dot connector dot connect. Okay, but connect with what? Localhost, which is by default localhost. User, it is root. And for password, okay, I'm writing password. Why? Because as I told you, my password has been stored in variable password. Okay, so whatever password I have written, it will go here and it will come here. Okay, so I don't need to write my password again. I'm just writing password. Okay, and here I'm saying except connector dot except mysql dot connector dot error. Okay, so this thing will fetch if any error, if in this thing in connection, if I'm getting any error, this will fetch that error and it will store in err. Okay, I'm giving as err. Now what am I writing? Print if I'm getting any error. Let's say I have not written correct password, okay, or user or host name. In that case I will get error. Okay, so this error will be stored in err. Okay, so if I am making any mistake, this thing will be executed. Okay, and if this will be executed, the print function is related to this line. You can see we had already discussed about this thing. Okay, so these both are connected. So if this will be invoked, this will be executed and I will get output as connection failed and whatever error would be. Okay, let's say I'm making some error here. I will input some wrong password. Let's say I'm using 123456789, which is not my password actually. So now if I run this, see, it is telling me, it is giving me error, connection failed. Why? Access denied for user root at the rate localhost using password. Yes, password, there is a problem in password. So what will I do? Now I will run this thing again. It will ask me password. Now I will write the correct password and now I'm trying to run this again. I will run this. See, in that case it is telling me, because everything is correct, host, user, password is correct, so this will not be executed, else this will be executed. And here I'm saying if this is invoked, execute or give output as print connection established successfully. So it is writing connection established successfully. Okay, so now see, we have to create cursor here. So we create a cursor object here to execute SQL statements. Okay, this one. For any SQL statement, I have to call this my cursor or mydb my database dot cursor. Okay, this is a variable which we created earlier. So we will execute this. Let's see if my cursor object has been created or not. So I am running this and it is telling me connection established successfully. Okay, if I would be getting any error or something like that, it will invoke this one and this print statement is connected to else and I will be getting error as connection failed. Okay, but here we are not doing any mistake, so I got this thing. Now see, what am I doing? I want to see what databases I have. Okay, when we installed MySQL, by default we got some databases. Okay, or overall whatever databases I am having. Okay, for that what am I writing? See, I told you to we create cursor object to execute SQL statement. So this is a SQL statement, and to execute this we have to call my cursor dot execute. Okay, so my cursor we created here. If you'll see this one, my cursor. Okay, so this my cursor is holding mm, my database dot cursor here. This is the object we have created. My cursor dot execute show databases. Okay, and here I'm writing, see, for database in my cursor. Okay, my all databases are, because now my cursor dot execute is executing databases. All databases are coming here. Okay, so from here it is coming in my cursor. Okay, and for loop we have already studied about for loop. This is my iterable. It means it has some data in it. Okay, so this data will come one by one here in db and we are writing print db. So for loop we have to again see my videos for loop. You will get what is for loop and how it works. So here I am getting, see, all my databases. These are the default databases. Whenever you install MySQL, you will get these default databases, but we are not going to make any changes in these database. So for that thing we have to create our own database. Okay, so again my cursor dot execute, okay, to execute SQL statements. Okay, so see, I'm writing here create database. So this statement will create database. But just after that, you have to write the name of the database. I'm writing here Darshan database. Okay. So this line will create a database which would be named as Darshan database. Okay. Darshan database. So I'll be having a database name, this thing. Okay. But we have to check also whether we are having or not. So we are writing the same code which we had written earlier in the previous one. Okay, so let's see if I'll run this. See, I'm getting, these were the default databases and I'm getting one extra database, okay, which is Darshan database. Okay, so by using create a database you can create a database, right? Now let's move further. So we have created database. Now we are going to create a table. Okay, so what am I using here? Again, one more statement, SQL statement use. Okay, we will study about all these statements. There are a lot of statements which we are going to use in SQL. So here we are using use statement. Okay, what you use? You use this database, my cursor dot execute. Okay, you use this database which we have created. Now what we have to do after using this database? We are going to create a table which named students. Okay, I'm naming it students. See, my cursor dot execute. Okay, here what am I writing? Create table. Okay, again one more statement. Here we have used here create table. Okay, if you'll see, we have used here create database. Now we are using create table here. Okay, these are the default statements of SQL. Just after that you have to write the name of that table. Okay, now see, you have written the name of the table, but now we have to group something. So this is not a tuple. Okay, this brackets are showing that this all information is one group. Okay, so here see, what am I writing? To create any table I should have column names. Okay, like what am I writing? See, let's say I'm writing ID here, I'm writing student name here, so name. Okay, I'm writing here roll number, so here roll number. I'm writing gender here. Okay, again one more column marks, one more column date of birth. Okay, and one more column, let's say email. So I have to name the column name. These are called alias. Okay, we will study about the terminology of MySQL. So see, now what am I writing here? I'm writing ID. Just after that I'm writing what kind of data it is. Okay, types of data we have already studied, so it will be integer. Next, auto increment. Okay, so in ID, let's say I'm writing 101 for first student. Okay, so second student automatically it will come 102, because this auto increment will tell that in ID column you just do auto increment. Okay, because why you need auto increment here? Because we are defining this ID column as a primary key. Okay, we are going to study about primary key and what are other terms. So this primary key, it should be unique. It means it should not have repetitive values. Okay, so and what is the use of this primary key? We are going to study in the upcoming lectures. Okay, so but now here we are doing auto increment because this ID should be unique. Okay, so this is our primary key and this is our let's say we recognize anyone by using ID. Okay, so if you want to recognize someone by using something, it should be unique. It means everyone should have different IDs. Now here name, it should be varchar. Okay, it means can have, so like there are two type of data here. One is char and one is varchar. Char data type is used to store characters string of fixed length, and varchar is like a data type is used to store character strings of variable length. Okay, so I'm writing here 255. It means it can go from 1 to 255. Okay, so we can use long name also. Okay, so we are fixing here the limit, that how much limit it should be. It should be not null. Okay, what is the meaning of not null? Not null, it means you cannot leave any blank. Let's say we are having table here, id and name here. Okay, so there should be no blank cell here. Okay, so we have to write any name, like we cannot leave any cell here blank. So this not null is telling me that the name column should not be having any blank value, and logically it is correct that the name should not be blank. Okay, so each id should have some name. Roll number, it is also, it is integer, it means it should be numbers, and it is not null. Again, you cannot leave any cell of roll number column blank. Okay, same gender, it is character. Okay, we are fixing here like only one, so we have to write only f or m. Okay, we cannot write female or male because we have limited the characters here. Okay, it should not be not null. Okay, again comma, next column, marks decimal. Okay, so marks can be in decimal. Okay, float value is accepted here. Okay, store marks up to 2 decimal places here. Okay, so again, let's say date of birth, we are writing here date. Okay, so it should be in the date format. And email can be varchar, again 255 we are writing here, and it should be varchar. Okay, so alphanumeric word you can use here, and it should store a email address. But you can see this thing, I'm not writing not null here. It means these are optional, you can leave blank here, no problem. Okay, if I'm writing here not null, then in case not null, you cannot leave any blank cell, but here it is a optional, you can leave it. Okay, if anyone is not having email id, or let's say date of birth they don't know, or they don't want to share, so you can leave blank here, no problem. Okay, so see, this is my table, I'm closing this, I have closed it. Okay, I have closed it. So this thing is telling me that this is one group, one group. Okay, it is grouping, not the tuple. So here I have to see my table, so I'm saying mark my cursor dot execute show table. Earlier we used show database, here show database, but here we are using show table. Okay, so see, this my cursor, it is holding my table. Okay, and what is the name of my table? If you will see, that is student. Okay, so it is holding my student name, this my cursor, this one. So for table, in my cursor print table, I will get the output. See, if I will run this, I am getting the output as student. Okay, it means if I'm getting this result, it tells me that my all these columns are created and one student table has been created. But these are only column and rows. Okay, no, only columns, not rows. So we have to add rows in that. So for each column we have to assign some values. Okay, we can leave blank spaces in case of marks, date of birth and email id, no problem, but rest we have to give. And I'm not giving any id value here because it is auto generated. Okay, see here, what am I writing here? Students is equal to, now this is list. Okay, this is not a grouping, this is list. Okay, I'm writing list here. So one element is here, another element is here, so this is one element, this is another element in my, or you can use add more student data entry here. See, I'm not writing anything for id because it is auto generated. Next column, what do I have? Name, I'm writing here name. Okay, next what I have? Roll number, I'm writing roll number here. And next I have gender, I'm writing f here because Alice is female. Marks, date of birth, and this thing email id. Okay, so this and this are string, sorry, not this, this is date. We write date in this format only, okay, here like this, but this is not a string, but these are string, okay, and these are integer which we had defined earlier. So you can see this id is integer, it will be auto generated, so no problem. This is integer, okay, and this is decimal. Oh, so like it is kind of integer but not integer because it is a float, okay, there's a difference between integer and float, we discussed it. So now I have created two rows, okay, one for Alice and another for Bob. I have created two items in list name students, okay, so you can use anything. I have used student here. Now we have to insert this data in my table, okay. So what am I writing here? For loop again, for student in students. So this is my students list which will come here, and the format of for loop should be like this only, we have already discussed it. So here see, what am I writing here? SQL, I'm making another variable here, I'm using another statement here, okay, which is insert into. As I told you, we are going to study about all these statements, okay. So insert into students, I'm telling that whatever I am getting here, insert it into students. Now see, you will say which students, okay, this student and this student both are different. Why? In when we were studying about the variable in Python, I told you that variables are case sensitive. So here s is small, here s is capital, okay, uppercase. So this is my table and this is my list of rows, okay. So what am I saying? In SQL, insert into my table students, okay, what where you should, these are the column name, okay. So this is the format you have to do, okay. So column name, what are the column name? Name, roll number, gender, marks, date of birth, email, okay, and their values. What are their values? I'm writing here percentage s, percentage s, percentage s, but how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6, so it should be 6 here, okay. Why am I writing percentage s here? Okay, because the database engine replace the placeholder, this is the placeholder, okay, within the corresponding values from your data list, okay. So whatever your data list, it will replace, okay, this is the placeholder. So how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6, so 6 placeholders are there, okay, and it will replace with these values. What am I writing here next? I'm writing my cursor dot execute. What do you execute? You execute SQL and student, okay. See here, it is a small one, so this SQL and student, okay, and my database dot commit the change of the database, okay. So what does it mean? It means whatever change I am doing in my this table, I am committing it, okay. That means fix it, okay. So this thing I have committed, so just change it, okay? So now next I'm saying print my cursor dot row count, okay, record inserted. It means how many rows, just count them, okay. So here I should get one record inserted, let's see, okay. I'm getting here one record inserted, but you will say that there are two. So in this one, if it will count, it will count from 0 1, okay. So for that thing I have written here print the length of the students. See, this is uh, small s because I am trying to count the length of the student, uh, how many items are there in this list. So I think it should give me 2, okay. Now see, next what am I doing? I have created database, I have created table, I have inserted some values in that, okay, but I want to see my table. So for my table, what I can do, my cursor dot execute select. Again, one more statement, I'm using select statement. and this means all. Okay, select all from where? Student table. See, this is capital. Okay, S is capital, uppercase. So select all from student table. Okay, it has selected. Now what you have to do, you have to, I am creating all student. Okay, my cursor dot fetch all. Okay, whatever there in my cursor, fetch all here. Okay, now I'm saying print. What do you print? For student, again I'm making this variable. Okay, this variable is not this variable. Okay, this variable is different. I'm just making another variable here, and I told you how for loop works. You have to watch my for loop video in the uh, Python. I have created one more playlist where you can find all my Python videos, and there one dedicated video, two videos actually for Python. You have to watch that one. So here I'm creating a variable, and here all students. Okay, so all data which they have fetched from the uh, my cursor and from the students table. Okay, this will go here, this will go here, this will go here, and it is coming here. Okay, this is the data flow. It will go here and it will keep on printing. Let's see what will happen here. I will get this kind of table, but in this table it is not telling me the column name. Okay, so what is this one, what is this name? Okay, so for that thing I have imported Panda. So you will say, what is this Panda? This is a again a library of Python which we going to study in upcoming videos, but not in SQL. Okay, this Panda is totally different topic. So I'm importing Panda as PD. Okay, this is not the necessary step. I'm just doing this so that this table can give us proper view. Okay, so SQL, I'm creating a variable here. Select all from the students. Okay, select all from the students, and what you do, see, I'm again creating one more variable, students underscore df. Okay, is equal to pd dot read SQL. This is the property of pandas. We are not going to discuss about this thing. I'm just telling you, if you want to see the your table, you can use this code, SQL and my database. Okay, see this SQL comma my database. Now print it. Okay, so here I'm using dot to string, but this thing will also not give me proper table, but at least it will give me the column name with the rows. Okay, so I'm executing it. See, I got all the rows with their column name, but still it is not looking good. So since I have imported pandas, so in pandas we have one more function here. We can use simply this. See, student df, which is my variable where I'm getting all my data, student df dot head. Okay, head means it will give me first 5 rows, but since I have only 2 rows, so I will get only 2 rows. Okay, so I'm running this. See, this is now proper view of my table. Okay, this is id, this is the column names, and these are my rows. Okay, now I have created this database and table and everything, and I just want to delete it, this database. To delete the database, you can use drop database, but use with caution. I have written here. Okay, once you delete this database, it will go. Okay, if you don't want to delete database, don't delete it, don't do this. But if you don't want that database, you can use my cursor dot execute drop database, again one more statement, and the database name. Running this, it will delete the database. Now if I will run this code, wait, if I will run this code now, this one. Okay, it will not show me my database which I have already deleted. See, it's not there. Okay, so I hope you got the idea how to create database, how to create table and enter the rows and the columns. Okay, in next video we are going to edit these values, like if you want to delete any column or add one more column, we want to merge columns from different tables. Okay, we are going to do some engineering with these data. If you like this video, please like, and if you have any doubt or any feedback, you can always go to the comment section, and please do not forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you.